What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to the channel. Just had a video a little while ago, earlier this morning, about Danny Dimes and the possibility of bringing him in. With that possibly being the case for the Colts, then at what point do we open up more cap space? At what point do we make the moves that we've talked about, right? And Chris Ballard coming out saying, hey, what I've done in the past doesn't work. I haven't built this team right. He understands his mistakes and he wants to fix them. So at what point does that start? At what point do we begin to fix the mistakes? When do we change? Right? We know Raekwon Davis gets cut, expected move. The other expected moves, right? What's going to happen with Braden Smith? And that's one that I think is a complicated situation because this is a guy that clearly is going through something very detrimental on a personal level, something very serious, it seems. At least that's the commentary that's been around is, hey, he's dealing with something very serious. Who knows what it could possibly be. Just hoping, of course, that him and anybody in his family or friends or whatever it may be, hoping that everything is going to turn out okay, whatever it is going on. But Braden Smith is such a complicated situation because you get if you were to release Braden Smith, your options open up so much. But the optics of that is going to look terrible. But I think it's something that's like so expected that it's not going to be that crazy. But of course, from Chris Ballard's perspective, him being the one that's doing it, from his perspective, building a personal relationship with Braden Smith through all these years, like, of course, there's an element of Chris Ballard. Like, absolutely the last thing he wants to do right now is to have to cut Braden Smith. Now, Braden Smith would land on another team. That's the thing. He would land on another team. He'd get a new contract. Might not be making what he's making right now, but he'd get paid a decent amount, probably a 1-year contract, go somewhere where he can make a difference, right? Maybe he go, I guess I don't know every team situation, but just seems like, a team like the Bengals might want his services. A team like the Chiefs might want his services, whatever their situations are. But whatever the case, Braden Smith, like if Chris Ballard's ever going to change, bro, the emotion, you got to take and that's what he said. He said that, he's an emotional guy and that sometimes the emotions block. Hey, bro, the emotions can't block this one. Do what's best for the team. Get rid of Braden Smith. I understand it's difficult. Couldn't imagine being in that position, knowing whatever he knows, whatever the situation is, Chris Ballard knows what's going on. I can't imagine how much that would suck, but it's the best thing for the franchise moving forward. And you can't wait. Free agents are already agreeing to deals. Like you can't wait. You can't continue to wait. So cut him. Of course, Samson Ebicom added to that list. Now that also depends. What else are we going to do at defensive end? Of course, the situation we hope for is, hey, let's go ahead and get rid of Samson Ebicom. That's another $8 million save. I think between Braden Smith and Samson Ebicom, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around $24 million that we could add to the cap, something in that range. But nonetheless, get rid of Ebicom, right? And then you go trade for Trey Henderson. Contracts, the edge rushers. Myles Garrett stays in Cleveland, signs for $40 million. Max Crosby, $35 million. There was somebody else that signed for a ridiculous contract, right in the neighborhood of like 33 or 35. So defensive ends making crazy money right now. What would Trey Hendrickson want going forward? It would be a pretty big bump from what he's currently making. So what are we going to do at edge? That's a big question mark going into all this. And it makes me wonder, hey, maybe that's why we're waiting to really do anything. Maybe there are talks going on with the Bengals who are openly trading Trey Hendrickson, like, hey, you can go see what you can find. And maybe those talks are happening and we're waiting to make any official moves to see, hey, do we need to open up this amount? Can we possibly save one of these players and keep one of these players on the roster, likely Braden Smith? Like, that's how I think things are trying to work out. They're trying to figure out, hey, who can we negotiate with? Which of these players might we get? And I think they're trying to lock down some of that stuff before they get rid of these players and get their money off the books. So that's just my assumption of what's going on. At least that you would hope, right? If Chris Ballard's ever going to change, bro, you got to change now. Come on, Chris. Come on, Chris. People are signing. People are trading. NFL's going nuts right now. And the Colts aren't doing anything. We've gotten rid of Raekwon Davis. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Get active. It's time to go. It's time to go. You have the weapons on offense. Your quarterback's working to get better. Put your trust in it. Go build the defense. Do what you have to do. Get rid of the loose fat. Cut the loose fat. I know that sounds like a crazy thing, but the NFL is a cold business, man. It always has been. It's time to change. That's what was said. That's what was sold to us. It's time to change. And at this moment, Chris, it's time to go, man. It's time to put your foot on the pedal and make the moves. It's time to close on these deals. Whether you're trading for Trey Henderson, whether you're signing Charvarius Ward, whether you got to cut this guy or that guy, you have to restructure some contracts, some of the big contracts on the team to open up even more money like other teams do, man. Tell Jim, hey, bro, you're a billionaire. What we have on the cap, I need that in cash. Straight to players. We're just boom, boom. Transfer this to a signing bonus, open up some of the cap. You get more money guaranteed. We get to sign somebody else. Like, boom. It's a win-win for everybody. Jim's just got to take the money out of his pocket and let the boys work. Right? From the top down. Right? And there's just the simple fact that Jim, one of the least wealthy billionaires in the NFL. So there's levels to this thing. There are different ways that we can go about it, but at the end of the day, we have to start making the moves, man. I'm seeing everybody else do everything else. Everybody's trying to get better. Everybody's, Seahawks letting go of everybody, trading, cutting, getting rid of everybody, moving on for the future. A full rebuild. We never did a full rebuild. So if we're not going to rebuild this thing, because I think we do have a lot of talent, you just have to change your philosophy, which is what Chris Ballard said, which is what we need to have happen. Right? Just be a man of your word. If you're going to do something different, but you have to go. You have to go. These guys are agreeing to deals. You have to go. There's a bunch of stars available, and those are going to be the first ones that get picked up. You got to move, Chris. You got to move. You got to make it happen. You got to make moves happen. Of course, as somebody who's doing content, I want moves to be made. Now, full transparency. I do work all day today, right? Did the video this morning and this one pre-recorded so that I could get these out to you guys. If anything happens today, man, I'm not going to be able to get it to you guys until tomorrow, okay? And then anything that happens early on Tuesday and into the early afternoon, not going to be able to get you anything until I'm done with work on Tuesday, all right? Going to be busy at my day job, but I'm going to continue to get you guys updates. I'm going to continue to get you guys content as soon as possible. We're going to be doing morning videos if we have to do morning videos because we couldn't do them at night, right, if it was too late. That's what we're going to do, man. Just again, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have those notifications on so you get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.